Welcome to our presentation. We've called this A Website Means Nothing. Now, it's a really fast-paced primer. It's about internet marketing. And bear with me because I'm going to go really fast, and hopefully we'll leave some time for questions at the end. But why do we call it A Website Means Nothing? Well, do you remember how excited you were when you got your first website? That was a big deal, wasn't it? Huge deal. Remember some of these websites? You probably don't. This is IBM, CBS, Chevy. These are all about 10 or 12 years old. They were state of the art. You believe it? A car website like Chevy with no pictures? That's right, because that's what you could do back then. Websites have come a long way. It was very exciting for you to get your first website maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. How are you feeling about it today? Website very exciting for you? Actually, it's not that glamorous. There's 200 million websites out there, about 20 billion web pages, so it isn't so special. It's just one of those things you have to do. You got to get a phone line, got to get some business cards, got to get a business plan, got to get some clients. Oh yeah, I got to have a website. Okay, you got a website. What are we going to do? Well, it's a little worse than that. I know that sounded boring, but your website might be working against you. It's a competitive differentiator no matter what. But if the information is dated, if it's poorly organized, if the graphics stink, if it looks cheap, you might be making it easy for your competitors to look better than you online. And that's not good. And there's no excuse for that because competitive websites today are not terribly expensive. So here are your first two challenges, and we got about 8 we're going to throw at you today. First challenge, make sure your website does no harm. Make sure it looks professional, tells people how to find you, it's got some graphics to it. But you might as well go to challenge number 2. Get a website that presents your brand, targeted to your market, has some compelling aspects to it. It makes people want to do business with you. That's not too much to ask from a website. Now, even then, so you got a website, now you got to be found. Now look, Google's in charge, right? Google's not going to necessarily find your website. If somebody's looking for the best Mexican restaurant in town and you've got a great Mexican restaurant, will it find you? What it's going to find is the websites that claim to be the best. It's going to find reviews that talk about the best. It's going to find blogs that talk about the best. And maybe they'll talk about you, maybe they won't. So you got to follow the rules of the search engine road. Google's in charge. Don't try to fight that. Don't try to fight it now. Someday it may change. The ranking algorithms aren't published, so follow the right guidelines. Put good content out there. Put fresh content out there. Continue to expand the size of your website. Size makes a difference. Wasn't true a couple years ago. Makes a difference now. Don't try to trick Google. I won't even go into all the tricks you can use, and there are a lot of them. Don't use them. Links count, but it used to be it's all about getting 50 or 100 or 200 links. Better you should get 20 quality links from reputable websites that are relevant to yours. Meta tags, all that stuff, some of it counts, some of it doesn't. We'll help you. High rankings are your reward for doing the right things right. They take some time. But there is more than one way to get a search engine to find you. Now, you want to be found by search engines, and you want to be found on page 1 and sometimes even page 2, but the point is you want to be found in the top of the page, preferably on the left side where the free stuff is. Pay-per-click ads do get found. They get found on the top of the page. They get found on the top right. But let's face it, you want to be in the prime real estate. And if you're going to find somebody who is going to help you get in the prime real estate, you might want to find some people who are experts in internet marketing. You're going to want somebody to help you get up on the top of that page, so you might want to go and do a search for somebody who can get themselves on top of that page. If you're in Virginia looking for an internet marketing expert, or perhaps just you don't even think of marketing, you're looking for an internet expert, you'll find us right near the top of the page. If we can get ourselves up there, you can bet we can get you up there. But just when you're up on top of Google, you find out it's not enough, and you've got to go to the next frontier, and that's called social media. Social media is hot, folks. Take a look at some of these bullets. The number of Facebook accounts for major retailers doubled over a 4-month period just recently. The Air Force embracing social media because if they don't tell their own story, somebody else will. Social media is on fire right now. There's no telling where it's going to go, but right now it's hot, and if you're not on board, you're being left behind. It's not just for kids either. Look at the Facebook demographics here. The biggest Facebook demographic now is 26 to 44. There's more people in 26 to 44 age bracket than 18 to 25. Fastest growing segment, women over 55. So here's challenge number 4, and it's based on a premise. There's an online conversation taking place in your industry. You got to decide. Reject it, call it a fad, let it go, join it or drive it. And if you're gonna embrace the fad or embrace the trend, do it right. Get your own blog out there, contribute to other people's blogs and point back to your own. Establish multiple online presences, blog, Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter, use YouTube. By the way, what you're watching now will be available on YouTube today or tomorrow. Remember, it's a conversation. It's not direct marketing. You've got to be subtle, but you've got to be active. Yes, I did say no marketing. The website is where you do your marketing. That's where you have your calls to action, your contact us, get on the newsletter, etc. In your social sites, promote your community involvement. Acknowledge your competitors. They're there. You can't ignore them. Use some humor. Bring some interesting information. Get people to like you. And teach people how to buy from you. They'll buy more often from you if you're teaching them, believe me. And then, since you're being so benevolent, leverage it. And that's where we come in. Let us help establish your conversational architecture. And all that means is making sure that everything you do ultimately points back to your website, gives people a chance to do business with you. So the blog entries point to the website. The really good ones maybe end up on the website. Facebook and LinkedIn and all that other stuff point to the website or point to your blog. Your website links to everything. When you do this, search engines tend to find you in multiple places, so be prolific. Yes, that's a lot of work and a good time for an online marketing consultant. What we can do is we can help you establish that infrastructure, monitor, measure your results, and continuously update your strategy. Lets you focus on your message, your prospects, getting your message out. Now, what happens when things go wrong online? And they do. You may have seen this in the last few weeks. This idiot at Domino's sticks this piece of cheese up his nose before depositing it either on a sandwich or a piece of pizza. I don't know where it was, but it ended up in the wrong place. There's been other recent examples. Amazon was missing some titles that were all gay-related, and the gay community thought it was a conspiracy. Taco Bell video in New York that was not pretty. The Obama and Chavez pictures that were shown recently that provide political fodder against for the political parties. What do you do when you get unpleasant online surprises? Don't run and hide. If there's a vacuum, believe me, it'll get filled with rumors. On the other hand, don't overreact. Don't protest too much. You got to measure your reactions, measure your response, monitor your brand 7x24. We can help you do that. We can help you with your response if something goes wrong. More importantly, we can help you be prepared. So about that consultant you're going to need, here we are. Here's our website. Here's email. Here's phone. This whole thing's been very fast, so call me and we'll take the time you deserve. One more article before we sign off. This about says it all. Instead of turning off your cell phone in church, here's a church encouraging you to do Twitter tweeting during church. I guess the world is changing. You can find us at WSIBottomline.com. Thanks very much for your time. Take care.